Hello, my name is Rohit Kalale and I'm studying in Phoenix International Academy in Mysore. This is my report on the Renaissance era. The Renaissance was a period in European history from the 14th to the 17th century. It began during the late Middle Ages and ended when the modern era began. It started as a cultural movement in Italy in the medieval period and later spread to the rest of Europe. The Renaissance is French for rebirth, as there was a new interest or rebirth in interest of the ancient Roman and ancient Greek mythology along with religious studies. Events at the end of the Middle Ages, particularly beginning in the 12th century, set a series of transformations that ended in the Renaissance. These included the increasing failure in the Roman Catholic Church and the Holy Roman Empire, the rise in importance of city-states and national monarchies, the development of national languages, and the breakup of the old unneeded structures. It saw a revolution in science, art, literature, and laid out the basic concepts that we still use today in modern technology. Renaissance men. A Renaissance man is a term used for people who are professional, educated, and has a talent and knowledge in many different fields of study. A popular example of a Renaissance man is Leonardo da Vinci. He was a painter, sculptor, humanist, scientist, architect, philosopher, engineer, and more. He was considered a universal genius by many. Another Renaissance man would be Michelangelo Buonarroti. He lived from 1475 to 1564, and he excelled as an architect, painter, sculptor, poet, and writer. Thomas Jefferson was also a Renaissance man. He lived from 1743 to 1826, and he was many things, including an architect, author, lawyer, musician, botanist, inventor, philosopher, political theorist, and naturalist. But were Renaissance men only from the Western world? As a matter of fact, there are many Renaissance men from Asia. For example, Zheng Heng, he lived from the year 78 to 139 AD. He was an inventor, cartographer, astronomer, poet, philosopher, painter, sculptor, mathematician, and historian. From India, Akbar the Great lived from 1542 to 1605, and he was an architect, artist, writer, theologian, carpenter, and technologist. Now it's time to move on to Renaissance art. Art was a very crucial part to the expression of painters during the Renaissance time. Art came to be seen as a branch of knowledge, valued by the people and capable of providing man with images of their God and his creations, as well as with the understanding of man's position in the universe. For men like Leonardo da Vinci, art was considered a science, a way of keeping a record of discoveries and exploring. During the time of the Great Awakening, during the Renaissance time, art was developing too. Artists soon started to base their work off real-life models instead of drawing from imagination, making for more realistic paintings. New ideas of peace and beauty were derived from sculpting and painting deities, kings and queens, and the world around the painter himself. From this surge of interest in art came many creative developments in basic painting and sculpting tools. One of the greatest revolutions in the Renaissance time was its technology. As we know, the Renaissance was a time of great revolutions in science, art, and technology. It was a great advancement in olden day technology and an incredible leap to ideas of modern technology. Many great inventors like Leonardo da Vinci, Urs Graf, Paracelsus, William Lee, and many more. One such invention was the steam engine. Steam engine was an incredible invention and brought into the Industrial Revolution, but is mostly credited to the British. While the British Renaissance inventor Thomas Savery built it, the idea came from a 1st century Greek mathematician known as Hero of Alexandria, further proving that the Renaissance was also a surge of interest in Roman and Greek mythology and philosophy. Thomas Savery's steam engine was invented in 1698 and worked very different from modern steam engines. It was basic. It had a boiler connected to an empty chamber, which is connected to a valve with 2 pipes. So the boiler produces steam to the container through a bucket of water, and then the boiler is turned off. This will make the water condense in the chamber and create a partial vacuum. This low air pressure will make water from the bucket flow up to the chamber, allowing the boiler to convert steam again. This is the basic premise of how all steam engines work today. Another big revolution in the Renaissance time was the invention of the telescope. The telescope, a tool that has led to countless discoveries in astronomy, was too invented during the Renaissance time. The credit goes to Galileo Galilei. an Italian astronomer, physicist, engineer, philosopher, and mathematician. When Galileo heard about a Dutch lensmaker who had made a lens that could make objects appear bigger, he took it as a project of his own to construct just that. In 1609, he started the construction of the telescope. The first build had a magnification, zoom power, of ×3, but as he developed it, he managed to raise that to ×30. With this incredible invention, he created theories and managed to discover large parts of outer space that were previously impossible to be seen. He discovered that Jupiter has multiple moons, he saw stars in the Milky Way, and was able to conduct a detailed study about the features of the moon. The helicopter, believe it or not, was also invented during the Renaissance time by none other than Leonardo da Vinci. Although he didn't build a helicopter, he laid out the concept for it. It is very different from the helicopter you're probably picturing in your head right now. It was known as the aerial screw, as it looked more like the small curls on a bolt. Leonardo da Vinci believed that with enough rotation, the helicopter would fly. It was a wheel that could be turned to rotate the top two propellers. The propellers were aerodynamically shaped so that the rotation of it could make it elevate as opposed to it going to the side. The modern helicopter was built and flown by Igor Sikorsky in 1939. He got his ideas from earlier inventors who based their helicopters off Leonardo da Vinci's work. Did you know that microscopes, eyeglasses, matchsticks, submarines, the magnetic compass, the camera, and even flush toilets were all invented during the Renaissance time? It was truly a massive step for technology. More on Da Vinci's helicopter. So as I said before, the helicopter is known as the aerial screw and was a propeller operated by a spinning wheel. There were two propellers that would circle the helicopter, shifting in size. These shifts were so that the air would circle around the propellers and go up. Many people said that Da Vinci's idea was inefficient, but despite all the naysayers, Da Vinci's helicopter was an incredible invention. It was much more complex compared to the hot air balloon, as it had a lot more to do with aerodynamics. The original helicopter had a small base, so it could only support a small amount of weight. When the wheel is spun, the propellers keep circling. As this continues, the propellers go faster and faster until it rises. Overall, despite the insufficiency, it was an incredible idea for an incredible mind. In conclusion, the Renaissance was truly a time of great innovation, creativity, and a time of great people. It brought incredible inventions and amazing works of art that will be a permanent part of European and world history. Thank you.